Hello, everyone. I wanted to introduce you to someone I care about a lot. His name is Martin Brossman, and he's with me today. He wrote a book called Taboo, The Lost Codes of Men. And this is a book that comes from a long years of experience that Martin has had with men's groups. He's worked with men for a long time, and he's come up with some really interesting ideas about how this impacts men. And Martin, the title of the book is Taboo, The Lost Codes of Men. What are the lost codes?
Well, I want to give credit to Diogenes Ruiz, a friend that came up with the title, actually. I explained what it was, I said, after my first book, Finding Our Fire, which was about running a men's group for 12 years, and it was voices and everything, a friend said, I read your book, I still don't get it. And I sat down, we were at a Panera Bread, and I said, well, there are components that support men to mature. And I pulled out a napkin and I drew a triangle and I said, these are the components. And it's sufficient fathering and mothering, rites of passage, mentoring and mastery. If these aren't present, it's harder for men to develop because socialization was part of men maturing.
Right.
And then I sat back a minute and went, I've seen all the components, but never seen it put together like this. Like, where did this come from? You know, it's like, where did I come up with this? And then I kept working with it, and I've a lot of work done. Your great work, your books had a huge impact on me, and realized we aren't having the conversations enough in society to support men. We have the dark sides of them, or what they do bad, but what's the positive sides of it, and what's my experience? And I had gone through my own journey after my practice marriage ended in 95. And I found a book called Iron John by Robert Bly. And this took me on a journey of doing a men's weekend and finding that all these kind of pieces that had felt missing for me could be put together. And this is where this idea, when the friend said he heard what I was doing, he goes, this is more like some lost message. And he says, you need a better name than just Finding Our Fire like your first book. This needs to be something else. And he really came up with the idea. Yeah. And then I'd set it down. I go, well, I'm not sure this is codes. I mean, it was a back and forth battle, a creative battle of working with it and putting it down and then going, oh my gosh, this might be too charged for people to handle. And I couldn't get rid of it. And people who knew I had worked on it, men and women, go, you need to get that book out, because they'd say, this just happened in society. The world needs this. And they kept kind of nudging me to do it.
So the codes really are the paths towards maturity.
Yes.
Or the paths that may be blocked that otherwise might have led you towards maturity. Now, why the taboo?
Well, the taboo is, taboo is kind of like something that we're not allowed to talk about, or it's not to be spoken of. And in my view, my view is that this isn't in society enough. And if it is, I really believe a lot of our problems in society would be less. I mean, that's how passionate I am.
Yes.
And relationships would be better. Mothers would understand their sons better. Fathers would understand more roles that supported them in helping their sons. It would help daughters indirectly with it. And I had this kind of gut vision of how it would transform the world if enough people had this. And I just kept moving with it. But I really wanted to develop it and to think about the ideas. This is, I guess, Tom, this is called anecdotal. It's my own experience and then my own thinking. And I didn't want it to be research this and here's the proven facts of this. I wanted to take full responsibility. No, these are my synthesis of ideas, not necessarily original, but my unique put together, and how I followed them and how it enhanced my own life directly.
Yeah. So tell me something. What's your favorite part of the book?
There's so many pieces I like, because
come
every
on,
chapter
Martin. Pick a favorite
I put
one.
so much of my heart into it. I know that there's so much of me into it.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I have to tell you, one of the ones I kind of like is the whole metaphor of honoring and cherishing in relationships, because I had enough dyslexia that I never trusted dance, and this whole story of getting my right and left done. So I learned formal dance later in life. And I started to realize there's something beautiful about the role of the masculine and the feminine in ballroom dancing. That the man isn't over controlling, but he also holds a solid frame that allows the essence of the feminine in the role to be able to do these beautiful things. And learning ballroom dancing as an adult got me to really appreciate it more.
Interesting.
And I saw this isn't a bad metaphor
Yeah.
for appreciating that there's beauty and value in the essence of the masculine, and beauty and value in the essence of the feminine.
And how they can work
that's
together.
one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that they work together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're so busy trying to convert everything to what I call gray goo. Like everything has to be like the same. And instead of, what if we appreciate there's something beautiful, powerful, and wonderful about both of them?
Yes. And we're living in a world where there's very little seen that's beautiful about men.
Right.
You know, it's mostly criticisms. So, yeah.
Yes, I do have to tell you a story on this, Tom. I've always been drawn to trying to improve myself, and I was in a bookstore once and with self-help books, and a woman walked up and she says, why aren't other men here looking at these books? And I was in one of my more outrageous modes, and I said, well, there's a sign above the books that only men can see. And she said, what's that sign? And I said, more ways to make men wrong. And I said, because that's the experience that many men have had. I mean,
Right, exactly.
Women with good intentions would buy the book, but they'd go back and go, honey, let me show you what's wrong with you. Here it is. It's in the book.
Yeah. So how did she respond to it?
I think she tried to move away quickly from it. I'm not sure it was my most rapport building moment in my life.
That's a great line.
When I was
Martin.
younger, there were less filters on. But the point of it is that's, if you really look from a man's perspective, many men, that's how they've experienced, quote, self-help. And then what I learned I remember in tradition, I did some therapy when my practice marriage was not working, and I'd start having more emotions, and he'd say, well, this is so wonderful. And I look over at my former wife and I'm going, she has disdain on her looks. I don't understand this. What's going on? If I'm doing the right thing, why is there disdain? And why, if I've suppressed this, is it like opening a trap door that wants to explode? And why doesn't anyone seem to? And I thought it was just my problem, that no one else had this experience. And I'd say to him, I work at IBM. If I start bawling at work, which you say is wonderful, I'll lose my job.
Right. Exactly.
And that idea that, which is in my book too, that if we suppress something, it's usually not just great happy times. It's usually grief and anger and frustration and pain and sadness. And that's what was coming up. But he bless his heart, as we say in the South now, he didn't have the tools to understand what was going on because he had more traditional training.
He'd been taught the feminine way, which was you express the emotion.
Yes.
I'll guarantee that guy didn't go to the shopping center and start crying,
Yeah, right, probably himself. But that's another one of them to really, I wanted to write something that with the intention of revealing without judgment and shame, this is different.
Yes.
We got a lot of books on the other, but we don't have a lot of books on this.
Yes, exactly right. And that's one of the hallmarks of this book, I think, is that it does not shame men. You know,
Yes.
it says, you're masculine, here's a possible path for you. And it's very different from your typical self-help where the sign above says, how can we blame
More ways
men?
to make men wrong.
Yes.
It just came to me that day, and I actually, I'm sure I felt kind of bad. Well, I didn't mean to make her feel bad, you know.
That would be a good cartoon, actually, you know. Martin, why should women read this book?
It's fascinating to see the impact on women that read this book. Many women really almost for their sense of survival built a model in their head of men that worked for them for predicting things about men. And what I notice in this book is it expands that model and shifts it where they find that it enhances the relationships with their father, where they might understand how he did things differently. He might have shown love differently and they missed the signals.
Right,
you see?
exactly.
So when, you know, like a woman realizes, oh, my dad really did love me, but didn't show in the way that mom did.
Right, exactly.
Or understanding a brother and what he's going through, or a partner or a husband or their son's the most beautiful thing is how it opens up that. So that's what I noticed. It expands the world. It's different for men. For men, it's like gives them permission if they feel something's missing, it's like, oh, okay, this might be missing here. What can I do about it? It's a very active book. It's not even has questions in the back. It doesn't say there's one way to fill these in. It's saying if these are missing, you want to ask, what does it take for me to feel whole with that?
Yeah.
And so it is different from my experience of men and women that both get great value but different value.
Yes. Gotcha. Good. Well, guys, have a look at this. We'll leave a link below to the link for Amazon to purchase the book and give it a shot. See what you think. And Martin, thank you very much. It's been a fascinating discussion. And
thanks so much.
we'll see you all
This
in
was
the next
great.
one. You all take care.
Take care.